When you think you know, but nothing moves. Today, I want to speak to you about the moment when you genuinely believe that you know what you need to do, yet nothing shifts. Welcome to Unbox the podcast. I'm Sahar Palmer, intuitive mentor and your host. This year, we're exploring the courage to be you. Not the version of you that performs well on paper, but the version that feels coherent from within. So here's the real reason for what you're going through. You're not stuck because you lack strategy, but because you're not aligned. And when you are not aligned, no amount of action will move you forward in the way you expect. You analyze your situation, you understand the language of growth, you have already taken action, but the outcome remains the same. This is not about effort or motivation. What we're talking about is alignment. There is no flow because you've outgrown in some areas more than in others, and bits of you are not aligned to integrate this growth. And therefore, your expression doesn't flow. Let's talk about the illusion of knowing. There is a stage in growth where knowledge becomes a comfort zone. You understand enough to describe your situation clearly, to even name it. You can articulate your challenges, you can explain your patterns, but describing something isn't the same as embodying that knowledge or even being aligned with it. A little knowledge can create the illusion of clarity. And once you believe you know, you stop looking at your situation from a different angle. You protect your current perspective because it feels informed. That is often where growth quietly stalls, particularly with intelligent leaders. The connection with the mind is stronger than that with the heart, but it's the heart that senses and guides. I am a holistic therapist, but I've created my own brand of mentoring. I don't do therapy in mentoring. Throughout my career, I've changed or managed to take a number of people off therapy because it simply wasn't what they needed. They wanted to be shown how to get out of their stuck situation and not just rehash the past. A client I was working with recently reminded me of this. He's a founder who has built a visible platform. He produces content consistently. He's disciplined. And from the outside, everything appears structured. Yet internally, he felt disconnected from his own voice, even from his life. When I suggested we refine his positioning at identity level, his reaction was immediate. He said he didn't need therapy. He was already doing enough. This response is common. Many high-performing people hear guidance as correction. They assume that if something is being examined, something must be broken. But mentoring, at least the way I practice it, is not therapy. Therapy asks, what happened to you? Strategic mentoring asks, who are you now? And whether your strategy reflects that. Growth does not require reinvention. Reinvention suggests that your identity is flawed and needs replacing. Real growth is refinement, recalibration, constant adjusting. It is polishing what is already true. It is aligning your external actions with your internal identity. Kind of like bringing who you are and what you do and how you think and how you translate what you feel into focus, so the whole picture makes sense. Identity evolves. It does not need to be discarded. If your identity has shifted, but your strategy has not, or your actions have not, you will feel friction. You will increase the effort and you will push harder. You might even reach burnout. But internally, something will remain slightly off. Let's talk about why action fails without alignment. If you're not aligned, you cannot take the right action because you're acting from a distorted reference point. Every decision is filtered through an identity that may no longer fully reflect who you are now. At the same time, you cannot fully take the wrong action either. Misalignment will simply bring you back to the same lesson until you adjust the foundation. And this is why we see repeated patterns. This is why some leaders work externally hard, feel internally fragmented. The issue isn't discipline, it's coherence. When we look at this misalignment through the BEMA methodology, it becomes practical rather than abstract. Your body, the first dimension of change, often registers misalignment first. There is tension, fatigue, subtle irritation, or a sense of pushing rather than flowing. Your emotions react defensively when your perspective is questioned. Not because the other person is necessarily right, but because something feels exposed. Your mind prefers certainty. It prefers to believe that it already understands the current terrain. And the final dimension, accountability, is simple. If the result hasn't changed, something deeper has not shifted. This is not judgment. It is data within you, which you're probably ignoring. This episode is about recalibration, not reinvention. Most high-functioning people do not need to reinvent themselves. They need recalibration. Sometimes you're standing directly in front of what looks like a wall. You assume it is the end of the path, but instead of demolishing the wall, you take one small step to the side. From that new position, you see the opening. That is alignment work. It doesn't dismantle you, it repositions you. And this takes us back to this year's theme, the courage to be you. It takes courage to admit what you think you know might not be complete. It takes courage to allow refinement rather than defending your current perspective. The courage to be you is not about becoming someone else. It is about ensuring that you build what you say and what you lead reflects who you truly are. When identity and action are aligned, movement becomes natural. Decisions become clearer, and you will feel you are in the flow. Today, we spoke about the illusion of knowing. We spoke about why effort without alignment creates repetition. We clarified the difference between therapy and strategic mentoring. And we explored why growth is refinement, not reinvention. If you feel successful on paper, but internally misaligned, this is not a sign that you need fixing. It is a sign that your strategy may no longer reflect your current identity. If that resonates with you, I invite you to book a strategic brand clarity session. This is where we refine your positioning at an identity level so that your voice, your leadership, and your work are coherent. You will find the link in the description. Thank you for spending this time with me on Unbox the podcast. And if this episode helped you see your situation differently, please follow and subscribe from your favorite platform. And if someone in your life needs to hear this, please share it with them. Remember, show up, stay true. Until next Tuesday, have the courage to be you.